Hey, welcome back, ladies, gents, and my non-binary friends. Okay, so this is where we're at now. All the stitching is done. Also, I had footage of me carving wood toe instead of, steel toe, and this one's out of wood. But somehow I couldn't open it and it was just a mess. So you've seen me carve letters before. This is just wood toe. I'm going to do the main sanding just to flatten everything out with the Dremel Multi-Max, because I'm just gonna do a simple even everything out. It's not gonna be the final sanding, but it's gonna be to flatten out these parts and just kind of figure out where we're at. Then I'm going to cut out the hole and start working on that. I did run a bead thin CA glue, as you can see up here, because it's a very fragile area. I didn't want it to snap on me. And after doing all the stitching, I realized once I start sanding, this will start happening, where some of these will start popping out because it's very fragile in that area. So all through where the folds and stuff, where the leather meets, where that affect this, I ran a small, a little bit of CA glue all the way around all of these lines, just to give it a little bit more strength. But then you won't be able to see that at the end of the day. But yep, that's all I did so far. I also ran it in here, in this line, because this is also a very fragile spot, because when also adding the holes for the stitching, it makes it very fragile. The bottom and the sole is going to be the very last thing that I do, just because right now it has a very solid base where I can put it down, and once I start drilling, it'd be easier to clamp and all that stuff, whatever I would need to, when this is still very wide and very solid. I put some thin CA glue all the way around, because in some areas it's a little thin. The walls are a little thin, as you can see, because of the way the stitching is and all that. Like right here, I plan to maybe reinforce it a little bit. But anywho, as you can see by that little square that I'm carving out, the speaker that's gonna go all the way down has this battery pack thing. So when it goes all the way down, I want it to sit further down. Right now it's at about 3.5 inches down, so I want it to be further down to have a lot more base. But yeah, that's where we're at. this is what it looks like. It's looking real good. Already figured out how I'm gonna put the buttons and the speaker and all that. Speaker's sitting down here. And I'm starting to figure out how I'm gonna do these buttons. I think I'm gonna use this poplar that I have because it's a lot harder than this wood. So I can cut these little rivets and these little things out of these thin pieces and not worry about them snapping on me. So you can see it trying to, and it's really hard, see? And for these thicker ones, I have these thicker pieces that I'm gonna use for that. Okay, so that's the laces. I think they came out pretty cool. I put this piece of poplar at the end as kind of like the metal piece at the end of the laces. Ended up looking pretty cool, both sides. I didn't do a tied shoelaces because in theory this is a boot that's like sitting there, not on anybody, so it shouldn't have laces, right? So open up here is kind of like laid back. So laces are... Hey everybody, editing Tania here again. So that's gonna be the end of part 2. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. If you have any questions on my process of how I carved this boot or how I came up with the idea or anything like that, feel free to leave them in the comments. I decided to end it here because I felt like it was the perfect spot. You know, I finished the laces, I finished with the majority of the carving the inside of the boot. Part 3 will be the last part, and it's gonna be me inserting the speaker and that setup, the way I set it up inside and all that good stuff, and doing the bottom of the boot and how I made the thread, like the thread, how I made the print, all the individual little things for the print of the boot. So I hope you guys are enjoying the build so far, and like I said, if you have any questions or any tips on things you saw that I could do better or anything at all, what tools I used, all that good stuff, feel free to let me know. Feel free to ask me whatever, and please share the video. It really helps me. And yeah, thank you so much. Have a good one. Stay sassy.